grader Tej starts his morning like any other student at Lincoln Elementary School in the town of Sanger, located just east of Fresno.
Indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
After a quick assembly on the blacktop,
1, 2, 3.
Tej heads to an English class where the lesson of the day is about California Native Americans.
If I put this up on the wall, am I going to be able to read it? Yeah.
The 8-year-old has severe vision impairment and sometimes struggles to stay on task. That's why he's considered a special education student here at Lincoln. But you wouldn't know it by watching his interactions with the other students.
You forgot to write in.
That is the best thing about our school, is that they are just students. You have kids who are just identified as intellectually disabled. We have students with autism, students with Down syndrome. We have some students with muscular dystrophy. A lot of times in a special day class, you'll have kids in the back corner of the school that you don't see them. They have their own lunch, they have their own table, they have their own recess. They're not part of the school, they're not part of that culture. And our kids, this is their school, this is their home.
Mainstreaming, as it's known, is happening in schools all across California. But here in Sanger, the percentage of special education students who are mainstreamed into academic classes is exceptionally high. Most special education students here spend at least 60% of their day in regular academic classes with the support of an aide.
How is this sentence going to be? How are you going to write your...
And all special education students are mainstreamed for at least one class a day.
We know other districts, they'll do recess, they'll do PE and lunch, but we said, no, we want to do academics because we saw some strengths in our kids where we knew with a little bit of support, they could access the core curriculum.
Stop doing that.
All right, come on in and sit down at your seats.
Robin Berger has taught special education students for more than 20 years in the Sanger Unified School District.
Can you break it apart and find a new word in there?
Around 2005, the district began making a focused effort to mix special education students with general education students.
What do you see?
It was gradual. It was really, really slow. Okay, you know what? They can walk with their gen ed peers to lunch, or they are at recess with them. And then it was, okay, we're going to get them to the field trips. And it was just these little baby steps. And then it was like, well, you know what? They can really go into a gen ed class and they can really gain that information. And it gives them a typical school experience.
The other thing I think that stands out is that even in our special education classrooms, it's incredibly rigorous.
There's a greater content-rich focus connected to what's happening in the mainstream classrooms, which that is very unique. You have teachers across the state that are really doing that in silos, but it's not a philosophical shift across all districts where I can say, in our district, that's a philosophical practice.
Kimberly is a 5th grader who is also in Robin Berger's special education class due to an intellectual disability. Today, Kimberly is proudly sporting her purple and yellow Mighty Rams cheerleading gear.
We do dancing, and we dance. We do our cheer dance, and we go to different schools to play the games.
Kimberly's like a typical 5th grader, She's a cheerleader, she has friends all over campus.
There's nothing that they can't be part of. There's nothing that they can't do. I think Kimberly's a perfect example. She's a cheerleader here because she has the right to be.
All of our kids can try out for anything. We have a no-cut policy for athletics, meaning basketball, football, all those things. So if our SDC kids want to try out, they can. And I think it's going to be a good lifelong lesson for all kids. It works both ways. I think both of them are learning from each other. But I think our general education students, they'll be able to not be afraid. They'll know how to interact with students with special needs.
Do you know what black is?
Our students with learning differences benefit from that access and those real life peer friends just as much as our students who may not have learning difficulties benefit from understanding that those who learn differently from us or present different from us are just kids. They're just friends to be had and friends to be made.
What's happening in Sanger is a goal for other districts throughout the state, as outlined in a 2015 report by California's statewide task force in special education. The report found that too many disabled students in the state are not acquiring the skills they need to live independently. Only 60% graduate high school. One challenge is that it costs an average of $22,000 to educate a special needs student per year, more than double the cost of a general education student. The task force recommends a coherent system of education, where disabled students are considered general education students first.
I always say it was a philosophical change, and people, they want a program for that. Like, what's the program you used? I can honestly say there's not a program for that. It really is an intense conversation that is built on transparent communication and trust and respect, and we worked hard and we work on it every day.
Now we're going to the nearest hundreds. So 507. Now do I care about the hundreds? Yes! Yes.
For students like Tej, Sanger's approach to special education means he can celebrate academic accomplishments just like his peers.
In math, he can pretty much do it all on his own. Ms. Devine has sent back his test that he's taken in her class, and he's gotten 100% where it hasn't been modified. It may have taken him a little longer, but he was able to complete all the math problems on his own. He was able to write the answers on his own, and he was so excited.
I see them bloom. I see their skill set bloom. I see their confidence bloom, and the belief in themselves.
It gives us a sense of knowing that people are different from us and that it's okay.
I want them to have the same options and opportunities that any student graduating from high school has. And that is, what is your dream and how do we get you there? That home, school, work, I want them to have access to that and meaningful employment and be part of their community in the way that any other young adult is.
To better prepare disabled students for life after high school, some schools are offering job training classes and internships. Students learn how to write cover letters and resumes and are matched with internships for jobs such as food preparation, managing medical supplies, and teaching sign language.